Hey everyone, this is BluJay. Welcome to my 29th episode of my playthrough of Mass Effect. In the last episode, we cleared out the hot labs, finished up the mission on Novaria, reported to the council, got yelled at a little bit, and we had a little conversation with a few of our crew members. So in this episode, we're going to finish up those conversations. I'll try to stay under the time limit this time, and we also had a little fancier information from Rex. I wouldn't say fancy is the right word, more like tragic information. But we also have a side quest from him to request to reclaim, his family armor, which we will do probably after we talk to the crew. But for now, we're gonna finish out talking to the crew and then see where it goes. Next on our list is Garrus. Let's see what he has to say.
Commander, good to see you.
Personal question.
You've been with CSEC a while. Have you seen much action?
Well, not as much as you, but yeah, I've seen some interesting things.
Define interesting.
I'll bet you have. Anything in particular that stands out?
I remember this Solarian geneticist I was sent to investigate. That case was a bit disturbing.
How so?
What happened? Why were you investigating them?
I was tasked with tracking black market trade on the Citadel. Most of it harmless, nothing I needed to pursue. But during the course of my investigation, I noticed an increase in the trade of body parts, organs mostly. We usually get a few of those, but not the numbers I was seeing. We weren't sure if there was a new black market lab or if some freak was harvesting organs from citizens.
It honestly sounds like I don't know, a lot of people could do that, like a surgeon gone wrong, a murderer. I mean, is that really common?
You've seen this before on the Citadel?
Every so often, some lab sells unwanted parts through the black market, but they're not as bad as the psychos. I remember this one Elcor diplomat we caught in my first year on the job. He was hacking people up and selling their organs. Had the station in a bit of a panic. But this case wasn't that clear-cut. Turns out there was more going on than we first realized.
What did you find?
So how did you figure out what was happening?
First, we got a hold of a sample and ran DNA tests. The weird thing was, the match led us to a Turian who was still alive and was very convinced he'd never lost his liver. After a bit of digging, I discovered this Turian worked briefly for Dr. Salion, the geneticist. So I went to his lab hoping to find evidence of cloned organ development, but there was nothing. No Solarian hearts, no Turian livers, not one Krogan testicle.
Krogan testicles?
You're kidding, right? Why would anyone want Krogan testicles?
Some Krogan believe that testicle transplants can increase their virility, counteract the effects of the genophage.
Oh, that
doesn't
makes
work,
sense,
but
I guess.
that doesn't stop them from buying. They'll pay up to 10,000 credits each. That's 40,000 for a full set.
They have 4 testicles?
Somebody's making a killing out there.
But what about this? I mean, what did you do?
What did you do about the geneticist?
I brought in some of his employees for interrogation, to see if I could get them to talk. While I was interviewing one of them, I came across something suspicious.
You were interviewing... The way he said it sounds like he was interrogating them.
You mean threaten? Was that really necessary?
Maybe, maybe not. Either way, it paid off. One of my detainees started bleeding profusely during the interview. We offered to patch him up when he got frantic, freaked out. I ordered a full exam to find out what was going on. Our medics found incisions all over his body, some of them fresh.
That's odd.
That was our big break. These people weren't just Dr. Salion's employees. They were test tubes. Walking, living test tubes.
What do you mean test tubes for what?
He was growing parts inside these people?
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. He cloned their organs right inside their own bodies. Then he harvested them and sold them off.
Messed up.
Most of the victims were poor. He'd pay them each a small percentage of the sales, but only if the organs were good. Sometimes an organ wouldn't grow properly, so he'd just leave it in them. Most of them were a mess, but only on the inside, hidden so nobody could see.
Oh my god, dude, could you imagine, like, growing another liver inside you? Oh, this liver doesn't look too good, so I'll just leave it in there. Couple of times of that, you make some messed up livers, and then you got like 4 dead livers inside of you along with your working one. That is messed up. Did you interview the doctor?
I hope he got what he deserved.
That's the worst part. We never caught him.
Wait, what?
Why not? What the hell happened?
He ran, blew his lab, grabbed some of his employees, and headed for the nearest space dock. By the time I found out, his ship was already leaving. He threatened to kill his hostages if we tried to stop him.
And they just let him go?
But you went after him anyway, right?
I ordered Citadel Defense to shoot him down, but CSEC headquarters countermanded my order. They were worried about the hostages, worried about civilian casualties if the ship was destroyed so close to the Citadel. I told them those hostages were dead anyway. We just used them to make more organs. But they wouldn't listen.
I mean, I get what they were trying to do, but can't they send like a starship or some kind of combat vessel to kill them anyway? I mean, I agree with what they were trying to do, you know, blowing up a ship like that. Not only, what if the debris crashes into the Citadel? You know, I kind of agree with them.
Well, it's not worth the risk. You pursue the vessel and disable it.
Exactly.
That's the best choice.
There we go.
They sent the military after him, but he got away just the same.
What?
Yes, they did. I went to Palin and told him what I thought of him and his policies. He said if I didn't like it, I could quit. Well, I almost did. All they had to do was disable that ship, stop him from running. Maybe the hostages die, maybe they don't, but at least we stopped the bastard responsible for it all.
Well, that's a tough choice.
I suppose I can see both sides. But what's done is done.
I suppose. Can't waste too much time worrying about it now. Just wish I could have stopped him. That's all.
What? I want to learn a little more about him.
Do you have any idea what happened to Dr. Salion?
I sent out feelers from time to time, hoping to find something. I thought I'd found him a while back. He changed ships and changed his name to Dr. Hart, his idea of a joke, I guess. I told the military, but they weren't convinced it was him. I got the transponder frequency for his new ship, but I just can't get anyone to check it out.
Give it to me.
I'll check out the coordinates when I get a chance.
I was hoping you'd say that. But Commander, take me with you when you go. If it's Salion, I want to be there when you find him.
Alright. Well, that was pretty crazy. Okay, now we have 2 side quests to do. Let's talk to Ashley.
Oh, before I go, you said you're serving with Commander Shepard now? We saw him on the news here. He's cute. Later, sis.
Seriously?
Tell me you didn't hear that.
I'm sorry.
Afraid I did.
I'm totally not.
Shoot me now.
Okay.
One of my sisters. That's Sarah, the youngest. Surprised to see you here, sir. Thought you'd be chatting up, what's her name? Tassoni?
What about her?
Liara, why would you think that?
Scuttlebutt says you got a bit of a thing for her.
Who's Scuttlebutt?
I could understand why. The crew's off limits with the regs against fraternization. And at least she looks like a woman.
That's kind of cold, honestly. She looks like a woman.
You think I'm interested in Liara because she's the only one I'm allowed to date?
So you are interested in her. Of course, it could be politics. Alien diplomat's daughter, us under orders to make nice with the bug-eyed monsters.
Really?
What's up? You didn't come by to eavesdrop on Family Mail.
Wow. I mean, seriously? Like, what is with this woman what's with her and aliens? I mean, what did the Asari do to humanity? I can understand if she didn't trust Garrus very much, but I mean, why Liara? I don't think the Asari did anything to humanity.
Your family seems to be important to you.
But whatever.
Yeah, we've always been close. Me and my sisters especially. With Dad on duty so much, I had to help Mom raise them.
Well, tell me about your mom.
What about your mother? You haven't mentioned her.
You must know what military wives are like. Strong because they have to be, able to raise kids while Dad's away on a 6-month cruise. She has a degree in planetary geology. She and Dad both wanted to see new worlds. She gave up her career to raise us, though.
What about your dad?
Did your father serve with the fleet?
Yeah, took any crap posting he could get that offered space time. You know what? He worked his ass off trying to get recognized, but he never made it above serviceman 3rd class. He was real proud when I met Chief. First thing he did was salute.
Aw, that's sweet. What about a sister?
You have more than one sister? Sounds like a big family.
Yeah, I'm the oldest, then Abby, then Lynn. Sarah's the youngest. She's still in high school. With 4 girls, Dad used to say he felt more outnumbered at home than on maneuvers.
Actually, tell me about home.
Where did you grow up?
All over. Same as you, I expect. We transferred a half a dozen times before I finished grade school. You go where personnel command sends you, right? I guess that's why I'm so tight with my sisters. We'd have to leave all our friends every 2 or 3 years.
Sounds kind of familiar, I guess.
I was an only child, but I get the idea. At least one of my parents was always on duty.
Yeah, military families, eh? With schedules like that, it's a wonder we ever have kids anymore. Things were tense between Sarah and me for a while. Then we bonded.
Well, what do you mean? Are you guys...
Sounds like a story. Feel like sharing?
Sarah got herself a boyfriend who wanted to go faster than she did, Mike.
That
I didn't
doesn't
think
sound
he was a
good.
bad kid, just pushy. Lynn would send me these worried vidmails, and I'd tell her to relax.
What's a vidmail?
Where were you when this was going on?
I was on active duty. Sarah's graduating high school this year. This was only a couple of years back. They were on Amaterasu. At the time, I was
Hey,
assigned
like
to
the
Chernobyl.
Japanese goddess.
Same
Never
cluster,
mind.
but a dozen Hellwire away. Close enough to talk regularly, too far to make it back in an emergency. I couldn't afford a fast packet flight.
Wait. Well, hold on. So wait.
Where were you when this was
Wait.
going on?
Crap. No.
They were on close enough to talk regularly.
Yeah, but
too
no
far to
means
make
no.
back
I
in
mean,
an
it doesn't matter how
emergency.
pushy
I
you
couldn't
are.
afford a fast packet flight.
If he really liked her, he wouldn't be pushy.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. If he didn't ask at all, I'd wonder if he thought Sarah was ugly. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, but I mean,
Mike thought they'd go for a romantic walk in the woods, because he figured it was past time they did the deed. She levered Mike face first into a tree and left. Didn't have a
thank
scratch on her.
God.
Good thing Mom and Dad had us all learn some kind of self-defense. I took emergency leave and walked Sarah to school for a few days.
That's honestly really sweet of her. But what about self-defense?
You said all of your sisters learned self-defense?
Lynn did pistol practice, but didn't like it. She's kind of nervous. Sarah took Aikido. Abby decided to learn the sword. She always was a little weird. Likes big skirts and tops you have to tie her into. They do great things to her figure, though.
What about you?
So, what did you learn?
One of Dad's friends taught me Marine hand to hand.
Not bad. So, I mean, but that's really dedicated of you, but what happened to this douchebag?
Did anything happen while you were home?
My last day out, Mike was waiting for us. Sarah had told her friends, so everyone at school knew what he did. He wasn't happy. I wanted to snap him in half, but Sarah gave me this look, this let me handle it, I need to do this alone look. She kept her cool, God bless her, as he screamed in her face. She just let him vent. Then he tried to punch her.
Please tell me you shot him.
I swear, she just flowed around him. Next thing I knew, he's face down on the sidewalk, and there's blood everywhere.
Wow, that's pretty hardcore. I honestly, if I was Ashley, I would have shot the guy. Like, I'm not even kidding. Nobody messes with my family.
That's unbelievable. Sarah must be as good as you.
Better. I'm more or less a straight-up puncher. When he swung, she wasn't there anymore, and he fell. She helped him stop the bleeding and had me call an ambulance. She told the paramedics he fell. Before they took him to the hospital, Mike touched Sarah's arm. I thought he was gonna end up on the ground again. But he hung his head, whispered, "I'm sorry," and started crying.
What a
She hugged
loser.
him.
She
The
shouldn't have
Williams
hugged
women
him.
are a decisive bunch, Commander. We do things when we're ready. Not before, not after.
And where was your father during all this?
Where was your father during this? Wasn't your family stationed near him?
Dad always wanted to serve in space, but he wanted us to have real ground under our feet. He'd say, space is beautiful, but you can't raise a family there. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments.
Wait, you read poetry?
I never thought I'd hear you reciting poetry.
Just because I can drill you between the eyes at 100 meters doesn't mean I can't like sensitive stuff. Just
That's
don't spread it
true.
around. Ulysses was my dad's favorite poem. Every time he shipped out, he recorded me reading it. He had a dozen versions when he retired.
I mean, I think I don't know. I don't really know much because it's not. I never actually read that poem. It sounds familiar, but I don't think I ever read it. But just to be nice, I'll say it's a decent piece.
Does he still like it?
I sure hope so. I read it to his grave every time I go home. Dad passed on a few years back. He's probably still watching, though. So behave.
Watching?
I thought you said he was dead.
Oh, wait, no.
You know, from
Oh.
heaven, wherever that is. That's not a problem with you, is it? That I believe in God?
I mean, of course not. I mean, that's your deal.
Everyone has the right to believe what they want. Says so in the Alliance Charter. But only with fancier words.
I'm glad you're open-minded about it. I've met a few people who are really weirded out by my faith. Because I work in space, I can't believe in a higher power? Jeez. Hello, have you people looked out the window? How can you look at this galaxy and not believe in something?
I wouldn't say...
I should get back to my duties. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time.
I don't know. Like, I have mixed feelings about the whole thing. I believe in something, but not in the way that normal people would believe in. Because my religion... doesn't... I don't know. I don't want to get into a theological discussion here, because we'll be here for hours if I do. But anyway, I digress. I can't talk today. How are we doing today?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
You mean the Rachni, right?
Yep.
They were dangerous, Skipper. They
Skipper.
proved that 2,000 years ago. I think it was a mistake to let them go. But that wasn't my call to make. It was yours. You know, you really should talk to Tassoni about her mom. She has to be hurting.
Well, I already
Just
did.
saying, Skipper.
We'll
All
talk
right,
later.
Take
Williams.
care now.
Looking forward to it, Skipper.
Skipper? Do I look like I'm skipping around? No, I'm kidding. Let's just talk to Tali and finish this up. Hey.
Shepard, I'm glad you're here.
Well, you seem to be looking better.
Good to see you smiling again, so to speak.
I see what he did there.
I'm sleeping much better now. I guess I'm getting used to how quiet your ship is. I still think a lot about my pilgrimage, though. I know Steren's our top priority, but with all the worlds we go to, I was hoping to find something to bring back to the flotilla.
No! Okay, is that why you're here? No. Don't worry, we'll find something.
We've still got a long way to go. You'll find something to take back.
Yes, but it cannot just be some derelict ship my people can use for salvage. It has to be more than that. There's a lot expected of me.
Why?
What's so special about you?
It's my father.
That's kind of a mean way
He's
to
the
say
senior
it.
member of the Admiralty Board. He's one of only 5 people who can overrule the decisions of the Conclave for the good of the migrant fleet.
Oh wow, so
My
he's relatively
father is
powerful.
responsible for the lives of 17 million people. Our entire race is in his hands, and I'm his only child.
So, I mean, she's not royalty, but, you know, that's still a lot of pressure. I'm responsible for trillions! Now, that's such a douchey thing to say. That
must
is a
be
lot
tough
of
on
pressure.
My people place a high value on family and ancestry. There's an unspoken expectation that I'll live up to my father's example. Everyone's waiting for me to do something great on my pilgrimage. Something that will forever change our lives for the better. If I don't, it's like I failed, and that reflects badly on both me and my father.
Well, we can save the galaxy for a start.
The work you're doing here is more important than anything any Quarian has ever done before.
Yes, I know. But you have to understand Quarian culture. We're a very insular society. The events beyond the flotilla don't much matter to the average citizen. Our greatest dream is that one day we'll return to our homeworld and drive out again. But even if we stop Seren, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I can see
There's
that.
still millions of Geth behind the veil. Until they're gone, our exile will continue.
So, what are you expected to do? Like, what should I do to help?
What would you need to bring back to make everyone happy?
Something that would help us better understand the Geth. They've changed significantly since the exile. They've continued to evolve. We've done our best to study them, but it's not easy. They're very reclusive. Until recently, they never went beyond the borders of the Veil. And all the Geth we run into now are under Seren's control. We'd need to find Geth operating on their own, independently. But I don't want this to get in the way of our mission, Shepard. First, we stop Seren. Then I'll worry about my own problems.
Alright, tell me a little more about your father, actually.
What was your father like?
It wasn't easy growing up as the daughter of one of the Admiralty. Even before he joined the board, he was a prominent figure. People looked to him for leadership. He had to set an example, and he expected the same of his daughter. Plus, he was pretty strict, a military man through and through. He never allowed me to settle for anything less than excellence. As a kid, I sometimes felt like he was pushing me too hard.
There was a good
But
reason.
now I'm old enough to appreciate what he taught me. The world doesn't owe us anything. If we want something in life, we have to earn it.
That's true. And what about your mother?
Where was your mother in all this?
Mother was around, but she always seemed to kind of blend into the background. Almost like she was overshadowed by my father. He tends to do that to people. She passed on about 5 years ago. Some airborne virus that swept through the fleet. Happens sometimes when the filters start to break down. I think my father took it pretty hard. After she was gone, he became even more focused on his work. I think that was his way of dealing with the grief.
I mean, she sounds like she was pretty close to her dad.
Sounds like a tough upbringing. You don't resent your father at all?
Like I said, it wasn't easy. My father's not the kind of person you bond with. And he wasn't around all that much. Too busy. People counted on him, and he took his duties seriously.
As he should.
Even when he was around, he always seemed a bit distant. Like his mind was always somewhere else. Come to think of it, I can't ever remember seeing him smile. Not once. It's like he was always weighed down by all that responsibility. I mean, I know he cares about me, but he never really showed it, not in the usual way. I guess the best thing I can say about my father is that I respect him.
I can kind of relate to that, I guess, to an extent.
I want to
But
talk
yeah,
about
let's talk about something else.
Like what?
Investigate. Yeah, we've talked about all this. And
I should go.
See you later.
Does engineering
Something I can do for you,
have
Commander.
anything to do? No.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Alright, so we've got quite a bit on our plate right now. Let's see here. Is there anyone else? Actually, let's check out the requisitions
Looking for supplies?
officer. Yeah,
Let's see what you've got.
We'll look into it.
You bet, Commander.
Okay, some of these are really expensive though. Sniper rifle. Wow, that's powerful. Pistol. This pistol's the same one I've got. Alright, I don't think I'll buy anything, but I'll try selling some things actually in the meantime. Actually, most of this stuff is stuff. Oh yeah, we already cleared out our inventory last episode, like a couple episodes ago. But regardless, what's in here? No, this is engineering again. But either way, we're getting awfully close to that 25-minute limit there. I think we will start out with some of these missions that our crew members got us started on. So I think I'll do that next episode. I don't believe there is anyone else on here that we need to actually speak to. I think we have spoken to basically everyone. And let's see, do we have anyone else to speak to? Okay. Yeah, I guess we have a couple of quests. We've got Garrus's quest, which is to find this Dr. Stallion, who's now called Dr. Hart. We got Rex's family armor, and those are the two we're gonna deal with, I guess. I think we'll start out with Garrus's because he's at the top, but for now, I think I'll wrap this up and we'll start these quests, the first thing, next episode. As always, if you like what you see, be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. My Facebook and Twitter are both in the description below, so be sure to get on there. Contact me there if you want to, especially on Facebook where I'm more active. I love hearing from you guys. I just love hearing input from whatever you guys have to give, and I'll do whatever I can to make my videos better for you guys. So with all that said, I will see you guys next time.